Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken this morning. Oh, we have a bearded Packer fan. We have a Broski. We have a Joseph. And I like to say happy birthday to the best 18s in the world, myself and Caleb.
Oh, wow. It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, but I don't know how to take that statement.
I wore 18 as my soccer jersey, actually, so.
Okay. That's a little better.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning there, Bill.
Morning, Bill. And of course, on my birthday, my internet company decided I don't need internet, so I'm actually on the iPad via the iPhone tethered. Yeah, technology. Oh, you want to know something funny though? So obviously we have the grandbaby over today. Thank you, Fred. And no internet means guess what? No TV because everything is streaming, right? I broke out the old school Blu-ray machine, threw a movie in there for him, and he's like, "Whoa!" So my youngest boy comes out to say happy birthday. Like, "Whoa, you in old school today? You have a DVD out." So they're not that old, is it? Blu-ray?
Blu-ray, no, but you've seen pretty much every form of home video that there was. Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, and probably Betamax too.
Well, Beta and VHS came out at the same time, so yeah. And you know why VHS won the VHS Beta War, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah,
Because it was better?
No, Beta's actually a better format than VHS. But the porn industry went with it because it could put more content on the tape versus Beta. Beta, your max size is like 2 hours, just over 2 hours. VHS, you could put 6 to 8.
Oh.
Yeah. Why do you think Blu-ray beat
Did you put on the Big Lebowski for your grandson?
No, not yet. Why do you think Blu-ray beat HD DVD? Same thing. The porn industry went with Blu-ray.
Yep. Porn and gamers.
Yep.
Hey, good morning there, JB.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
All right, man.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Fred, you've got to, man. I mean, I've had when I set up the new house, I didn't hook up, the Blu-ray in the man cave, but I kept the machine in the room right there behind me where the DVD racks are. So today I went in there and pulled it out and hooked it up to the TV in the living room, and that's what they're watching right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say both your guys' backgrounds look good, man. Having the real backgrounds, both Ken and Ken.
Oh, why? Thank you, there, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, we went to that change last week.
On them titties.
I really need that high definition on them titties.
Hey, you want to know what's scary? Because I'm on the iPad. I can go the ultra wide camera. No, thank you. That's better.
I don't know. I think the first one was better.
You guys don't need to see that much of the man cave. However, I'm not enjoying having to hold the iPad versus just having the laptop up like I normally do. But
well, come on, we got to get your workout in for the day.
Yeah. No, I get that with the grandkids. I get to pick them up all day and play with them. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, we had a football game yesterday, though. Well, I don't know. Was it really a football game? Thank you there, JB.
It's more like
it
a
was
workout.
so Joe, since you were one of the teams that I think were involved, what's your breakdown of what happened last night?
I mean, what do you want me to say?
Eh, eh,
Geno Smith is absolute dog shit. We're down to like our basically our practice squad scrubs on the offensive line. Everybody else is injured, and like a defense like that was up to yesterday 12th overall in the league in total yards. Just got ass raped, dude. Like it's there wasn't anything about that game to be excited about. In fact, I was just saying it before we came on the air that if I was Mark Davis, dude, I would be really fucking pissed having to cut that check to Geno Smith every week, dude. Like, we paid you $60 million on the assumption that you were going to play competent quarterback, competent football, dude. Like, we have not seen that at all this season, at all. And yet I got to still cut you a $2 million fucking game check every week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would feel like I was being robbed. Like literally, I said it again. I would feel like it was like a home invasion and somebody duct taped me to a chair, dude. That's how I would feel cutting that check every week, dude.
Yeah,
Fucking killed your pet dog right in front of you too.
Dude,
Gino definitely not earning that contract this year like he was up in Seattle.
Yeah. Is Aiden O'Connell like healthy and back at practice, or like who are the
He's just
backup
not-
options right now?
He's just not
Aiden
that
was a
good
healthy
either.
scratch, but there's no way he could be worse than Geno right now. There's no way.
I was going to say,
Like,
if nothing else, throw him out there because there were teams interested in trading for him at the deadline and even this past offseason, even though he was hurt. So it's like, like maybe throw him out there to build his trade value, see if you can get a
Well, but you guys
fifth
are
round pick
forgetting
for him or
you
something.
guys are you're forgetting the silver lining here, right? Joe was mad yesterday because he thought the Raiders would find some way to fuck it up and win the game and move them, further back from the ability to draft their quarterback in the draft. Look, it was a good thing for the Raiders yesterday. They lost,
yeah, I'm
which
not
means
upset
they're
about
still in
that.
good position to get the quarterback they need in the draft.
Yeah, I'm not upset about that. I'm I'm cool with the loss because I mean we're 2-8, dude. We're not magically coming back to make the playoffs. Like, man, come on. Pete Carroll's old, but he's not a pedophile, dude. Like,
I don't know, Joe. Did you see the video with him trying to wrestle his players? I don't know.
but he's a grown man, and that was consensual.
I think that was
it?
consensual.
I mean, because
But-
like he was wrestling some other coach, and then Pete goes, "Oh, the wrestling! I gotta get in on that."
But yeah, dude, it's you can hope for. Oh, I won't say hope for the loss, but you can be realistic and say, hey, we're probably going to lose, and it's not a bad thing because it's and still like hope for competitive football, and that wasn't competitive football. Like
No.
it was competitive in the beginning when Max Crosby strip sacked Dak, and we had the ball in the red zone, and we settled for 3 straight field goals, and then all of a sudden the Cowboys are cashing in touchdowns. Like, yeah, dude.
I'm telling you, you just need to trade him to the Bears.
Nah, I'm good. The thing is though, the thing that I don't understand about Pete though, and like so there's this tape breakdown show on YouTube called Tape Don't Lie. And they're pretty good, dude. Like they break down Raiders stuff a lot. Like they brought up a good point last night. They're like, it's obvious that Pete is like he's keeping the guys out there to still try to win games. And I don't understand why at 2-8 you're still trying to win games. Like put the young guys in already. Put the rookies. Like we have 2 offensive linemen, Rogers and Caleb Rogers and
but
Charles
there's a
Grant,
reason, Joe, because he
that
doesn't
haven't
want to
played.
lose. You don't want to lose the veterans. Like if he does that, now he runs the risk of losing the locker room. Which
Oh no. A locker room which isn't going to be here next year, dude. Like,
well, I mean, if these guys aren't going to be here, right? Because they're not going to re-sign them. I get it, but if you if you got guys under contract for the next 2 or 3 years and they're going to be here, you're letting them play. And in a weird way, you want to let these other guys play because if you lose them, now you got a cancer that can make you lose. I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't disagree with what they are saying or you're saying, but these guys, these veterans who might not be here next year, want good tape that they can shop around in free agency.
Yeah,
And if you start messing with that, now they're going to be bitching the max, and the other guys will be here, and all of a sudden you lose a locker.
but there's two problems with that. I'm not saying your take is wrong, but there's two problems with that. One, I really don't give a fuck what these veterans want. And
Right.
two, they're not putting up good tape. They're putting up
I know.
terrible tape. And so here's the thing though. Like he's not putting in the guys that are under contract long term, like the young guys. He's not
Right.
like Darian Porter, for example. He's still trotting Caillou, Blue, Kelly out there week after week to start at corner. When we have Darian Porter, who was a third round project that like incredible RAS score but needed work, right? So why
Right.
not get him the work now when you're 2-8? And you know what your ceiling is with Caillou, Blue, Kelly. It's not high. Like your ceiling is your floor. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he refuses to play Darian Porter. We have two offensive linemen that haven't seen the fucking field. A rookie guard and a rookie tackle. I mean, so it can't be both ways. It's one or the other, right? Either they're so bad that you're putting the current guys out there, in which case, holy fuck, does that say something bad about our drafting? Or you're not putting them in when they could actually potentially do better than the guys that you're putting out there right now, and you're getting young guys reps. Like that's my thing. Is like I like Pete Carroll as a coach, but I don't understand his personnel decisions. Like at this point in the season, you should be shutting the guys like Max down. Don't even, or at least severely limiting their reps. Like, don't even bother risk getting him injured. Like, play all the young guys, get them as much reps as you can. You're gonna lose anyway. Like, man, I don't understand this, dude. Like, you continue to trot this same dog shit product out week after week. It's frustrating as a Raiders fan. Because at least if we were watching the young guys, when they make a bonehead play, you could just be like, well, they're rookies, man. Like it happens, right? But when you're seeing it 6th, 7th year veterans, and it's like every week, you're just like, dude, like this dude should be paying us. You know what I mean? For the privilege of wearing the silver and black. Like this dude should be paying us. This is crazy, dude.
Look, it's kind of like the last two seasons. I think we've expected a lot more out of the Raiders than we've gotten. And last year, there was a lot of injuries. Okay, fine. But, there was a lot of hype with AP coming in because the team really liked AP. They rallied around him. And then, like, the defense just crashes and burns, injuries. And then Gardner Minshew, who wasn't bad the year previous in Indy, just dog shit. So it's like, okay, fine. Fire AP, he's not cutting it. Let's get Pete Carroll. A lot of excitement there because, Pete's Pete. And you still got Max Crosby. You got a guy who's coming back off injury on the defense. And, hey, we got a quarterback. Gino's been really good in Seattle last couple of years. And you get to Vegas, and it's like he's too busy at the Bunny Ranch, and now he can't think of football. And I'll tell you, it's a curse of Carr. Ever since the Raiders got rid of Carr, that was the last time they were good.
See, I was actually just wondering, is it the curse for them moving from Oakland to Vegas?
No, it's the Carr curse because look when Gruden and Carr were there, they were trending in the right direction, winning games, barely missed the playoffs. Then they bring it, then the whole thing with Gruden happens and he resigns.
No, they made the playoffs. Oh, you're right. You're right. The year Gruden got fired, they made the playoffs. I'm sorry, Ken.
Yeah, and then you bring in the franchise killer, from New England to be the head coach. And what's the very first thing he does? He gets rid of the only guy who understood the offense, Carr, right? And then they've gone downhill ever since.
And as if that wasn't enough, now that franchise killer is 9-2. 9-2, dude.
Yeah.
It's
because he's a good OC. See, that's a problem. He's a good OC, right? but he's a shitty head coach.
Yep.
And that's always what you think about when you got these rookie head coach like Ben Johnson. Now is it like, okay, is Ben Johnson a franchise killer or is he a franchise, builder? He's a builder, obviously. Look at the Bears this year. He is definitely not a franchise killer. He appears to be a properly good head coach, right? But you look at some of these guys who are great OCs or great DCs, Vic Fangio, great, phenomenal DC, shitty head coach. But
Vance
Vic
Joseph.
Fangio was smart enough to know that after 1 year in Denver, like, get me the fuck out of here, get me back into DC's booth, let me just do my thing. And yeah, I don't make the money, but I make damn good money as the best DC in the NFL. So I'm making more than a couple of these head coaches. I'm like, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like Vic Fangio, I think isn't he like the oldest coordinator in the league too?
Oh no, Vance
I
Joseph
think,
is another example, a really good DC.
yeah. I
Like
mean, like
didn't have a
Flores might
good
like,
stint as a head coach, but he's probably going to get another one.
well, like Flores, like he's a really good DC for Minnesota. He was an okay head coach in
I was
Miami.
gonna say I actually kind of liked him as the head coach in
It'll be
Miami.
interesting to see how he is in his second go around as a head coach because the first go around can be iffy. That's why they always get the second chance. And the first one wasn't terrible for him, so I think there's an upside for him. But we'll see how he does. Like Matt Nagy, who's now the OC in Kansas City, and him or Spags is the heir apparent in KC. Both those guys are questionable as head coaches
Because
in my mind.
we can't forget about Spagnuolo's stint with the Rams there.
Yeah.
You know who I think would be good, who Flores might be good with? I mean, he would need a good offensive coordinator, but go take that Giants job. They already have a pretty
Yeah,
decent defense. Like,
yes, Joe, I see what you're saying, but you got to remember his lawsuit hinges upon that whole Giants organization and them
Wouldn't that be
but
ironic?
what better way to get rid of that lawsuit than to have the Giants make
Well, I
him
mean,
their
look,
head coach?
the lawsuit's going to be is arbitration. It's not going anywhere. It's going to run its course
Right.
now. But I mean, wouldn't that be ironic though if the arbitration goes through, whatever happens happens, and then he gets hired on as the next Giants head coach?
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors also that along that same train of thought, Jero Evero, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, he's from that like Don Capers 3-4 model. He might get a head coaching job somewhere next season. So
I've actually been hearing some rumors about that too.
yeah. And I was actually busting the Panthers fans' balls saying, "Oh, watch, he might get the Falcons job if they fire Morris." But yeah, I mean, there's other teams he has a chance to go to. The Giants
Is
being one of them.
Morris how short's that lease on Raheem Morris?
Real short.
Yeah.
See, Arthur
Especially now that
Blank is
he's
loyal. That's the thing. He's like a loyal owner to his players.
And it's
That's
not
one
his
thing I've
fault that
noticed, and
Penix is a bust.
Well, and Morris has that to use too as leverage. He can always be like, "Hey, I think Morris does have 1 year left under his contract next season," and then he could always say, "Hey, my guy went down, so what do you expect me to do? I did the best I could."
But Penix, he kind of got pressured by Blank and other people to start Penix over Cousins, and he can kind of say that, "Hey, look at the young guy that you guys drafted." And then kind of said, you're going to start him over the $100 million arm that we've got on the bench. He sucks. He's not durable. He spends more time in the IR than he does on the field. And now I've got an out of rhythm Kirk Cousins, who tries his best to be a great teammate, but he's not an off the bench guy. And we screwed up his mojo. So yeah, I should get another year and let me run with the guy I want to run with at starting quarterback.
Well, with Penix being on the IR, he's going to have a chance to slightly prove that you'll have Kirk Cousins for a minimum of 4 games. If you start racking up, you don't even have to win. Be competent and show more life out of that offense. Then that might give him an argument. If Kirk Cousins continues to suck, then I think that's more of an indictment on him.
But I think you're right. Can the Bear fan but he could try to use that excuse. But I don't think pointing out the mistake has made to the owner directly has ever been a good
Right.
thing.
Right. No, I get that, but I mean that's part of the. You look at Raheem Morris was on the hot seat at the end of last year. You got to figure he's on the hot seat. I would not be surprised if he gets let go, but I think there is a possibility that he does keep his job because there's a lot of mitigating circumstances with the Falcons season. You've had a lot of injuries, key injuries. You've had, I mean, Koo was like Mr. Clutch kicker, who all of a sudden wasn't. Now he's in New York after so they went through that. They've gone through the quarterback injuries. They've gone through wide receiver injuries. Okay, great. We got Mooney. Wait, but we don't have Drake. Oh, but wait, we have Mooney back. But now this guy is hurt. I mean, they've gone. The only thing they've had constant is Bijan, and Bijan's had some good games, and they've had games they haven't used Bijan for probably reasons that we don't know, but probably for valid reasons within the building. Like, hey, look at Bijan was hurt this week a little bit, so we didn't want to press it, injure him more. Or look at the defense we were playing was, we didn't want to run a certain risk. I mean, I get that, but I mean, yeah, Josh, we do for at least a week, maybe two.
And guess what I've been hearing about the Penix injury? So they're saying this is more of like the 12 to 15 month kind of recovery time, meaning like he's most likely going to miss all of next season. So you know what I mean? They have to make other plans.
Ken's face was classic as you said that, broski.
Oh, really?
That's horrendous.
His eyes were like,
yeah. Like, dude, you're boned.
Well, they said it was originally they said bone bruise ACL, but they didn't say exactly what was going on. If it's a 15-month
quarterback
injury,
updates.
Yeah, I was on a Panthers show this morning, and the Falcons fans were calling in saying that
Uncle Rogers, as they're calling him now, Unc, I guess is the new thing, with a partial fracture. I don't know how you get a partial fracture in the wrist. But they're saying he's going to try to play this weekend.
I mean, come on. Did you really expect him to miss the game for the Bears?
Well, first off, how do you get a partial fracture? It's you either have a bone fracture or you don't. There's a crack in the bone or there isn't.
Let's make sure that we turn it into a full fracture. You know what I mean? Let's make it a full clean break.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, does he want to end his career? I get it that the Bears have zero pass rush. However, JJ is coming back. Spidey's coming back. We're gonna have Edwards and Edmonds. It looks like we're gonna have the full defense this week, is what's appearing. So everyone's coming off injury. Now look at when Spidey was back, we got to the quarterback. By the way, they don't have that good of an offensive line in Pittsburgh. Is he trying to end his career like Favre did against the Bears? Because the Bears effectively ended Favre's career with a sack. I
think he just feels it's worth it. I think he feels it's worth it to take that risk for that belt one more time.
Yep.
He wants to do the belt one more time
to beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, whether he wants to play or not, at some point, coaches gotta go, no. You're sitting for the week or two because we have a shot at going to the playoffs. If you go down for the season, I don't know. If they lose Rodgers for the season, let's say he plays, and let's say that fracture becomes a break, and now he's out for a month until he can get back on with the cast on the left arm. Because at least it's not his throwing hand. His throwing arm, fine. He can probably play with the cast, but that it's still going to be, if you're the Steelers, is it really worth the risk for the season for him to play the Bears one more time?
Because of how much Rodgers is going to want to play the Bears, do you want to run the risk of telling Rodgers, no, you're not being active for this game? Knowing how petty Rodgers can be?
Yeah, but still, it's like, dude, you got to understand, like, you want to throw away the entire season for one game that, in the greater scheme of things, you know what I mean?
Well, here's another thing. Like, what's keeping him out 1 week going to do? Is his wrist going to, like, miraculously heal if he's out 1 week? You know what I mean?
And then, that's why I don't understand a partial fracture. Okay, so a fracture will usually take 3 to 6 weeks, depending, right? If this thing's like, hey, 2 weeks and they feel he's healed enough, then I'd rather him miss this week and next week than miss maybe the rest of the season with a break. I mean, it's something I haven't seen an update today, obviously, because I have no internet really, and I wasn't perusing the phone as much this morning. But I don't know. I mean, like I
Okay.
don't.
I mean,
Well, I
I
got
just
the
hope when the
difference.
opportunity
Hold on,
presents
broski.
itself.
Hold on.
I got the difference between a fracture and a partial fracture.
What?
A full fracture is where it had went all the way through one side of the bone. The partial fracture is where it just pretty much cracked the outside.
Okay. I mean, if they feel the risk is worth it, then play him. I mean, I think he's going to get crushed anyways. I don't think he. Look at this defense is getting healthy at the right time and Ben Johnson. There was a comment about how do we feel about that Ben Johnson's a better head coach than Lions fans. I don't think Bears fans ever cared what Lions fans thought on that, to be honest. Lions fans to us just it came off like a bunch of whiny little babies because he left. And I get it, the way he left within 72 hours of a loss, he's in House Hall saying this is where he wanted to be, and they were butthurt. I get that. But Bears fans never gave two shits what Lions fans thought about Ben Johnson as being their head coach. I mean, Bears expected there to be a dynamic change in Chicago this season, and whether it showed up on the record or not, we expected it at minimum in the way this team operates, and we've seen it in both, right? We've seen a completely new culture in Chicago with Ben Johnson. And oh yeah, we're 7-3 atop of the division by ourselves in November. I mean, look at for Bears fans right now, the hopium is being justified that some of these guys were drinking in the preseason. Like you're 7-3 alone in the top of the division for at least a week. And look at this Steelers game is completely winnable for the Bears. So they're going to be atop the division for maybe a second week by themselves. And look at, I mean, let's say the Packers, if the Packers lose this weekend to the Vikings, which God forbid for the Packers that happens, and if the Lions take another L, all of a sudden you got a 2-game lead. I mean, look at so Bears fans drinking the hopium, dude. Yeah, you need to let them drink the hopium because guess what? Right now they deserve it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just got a couple things I want to throw out there. One is if the opportunity presents itself, step on that wrist, please. Two, Packer fan Ken, what is the difference between a fracture and a break then? And then three, I heard the most Lions fan thing I've ever heard. Well, one of the most Lions fans things I ever heard this morning was the Eagles should have an asterisk next to their win, next to their W, because the Lions had so many injuries that game.
Okay,
Oh,
now
good
the
fucking
difference
Lord.
between a fracture and a break, because you got to remember that bones are hollow, is when the whole bone itself breaks versus the fracture being one side of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, an asterisk.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're Mark McGuiring the fucking Eagles now. Like,
Yeah, I mean, look at the Lions fans that watch this show in the morning aren't that crowd for the most part, Mitch. But and I love you, but there are Lions fans who are like, look, I can think of a certain Lions fan that a few of us know who a couple years ago, oh well, even our backups are all pros, and these guys are this that, and dude, you want to talk about hopium? These guys have it.
Yeah.
They were mainlining it, freebasing it, making an IV drip of it. I mean, there are some that are like that, and I get that because after 3 decades of like complete
failure.
failure on almost and every time they get their hopes up, something would happen to dash it. I understood it. I'm like, okay, you know what? They should feel this way because after 3 decades, it's like all that pent up frustration coming out. Fine, but now you're in year 3.5 of this, and Lions fans need to come back to reality with their team and look at. I think the Lions are a very good football team, right? And here's something that's different because, like, whereas most Lions fans won't give Bears fans credit or even Vikings fans, I had Vikings fans, oh, the Bears are trash. I'm like, dude, we just beat you. You're in the basement. We're in first. What the fuck you talking about? I'm like, have some realism in your trash talk, even. But I mean, the problem with the Lions is this: they find a way this year to shoot themselves in the dick a lot. I mean, their defense kept them in this game, but their offense was just trash against the Eagles. Now, I get the Eagles' defense is playing really freaking well, but they just barely came out of Green Bay with the win, right? And you figured, okay, there's blood in the water because their offense isn't working. We got a really good defense. Let's go get it. And you got the best running back tandem in the league, and they didn't use them enough. They couldn't get fourth down conversions. Their play calling was pedestrian at best by Lions standards. I mean, all this talk about Campbell's a great coach. He's a great motivator, but I don't know if he's a play caller, man. I think he's
Yeah.
better off letting Morton call the plays.
I think they need a
Again, man,
new
it's like
offensive
he owes
coordinator.
somebody money. Yeah. Like
I think they need a new
he's just
OC.
trying to win his money back.
Like you ran your circuit with the Ben Johnson offense. I think it's time to let go of the Ben Johnson offense. Find you a coordinator who can create a new offense for your guys and go that route. But I was thinking about something interesting as well. Like Mike McDaniel, we've all and we think he's going to stay in Miami, right? But I was thinking, like, if I was the New York Giants, I might consider offering a trade for Mike McDaniel. It wouldn't be the first time that a coach has been traded. And
Gruden,
exactly, that's what I'm saying. There's a
Peyton.
precedent for it. And I don't think it would cost as much.
Mhm.
Like the Giants are looking at easily a top 10, probably a top 10 pick this year, right? But could you imagine Mike McDaniel with Dart, Malik Neighbors, Scatabo? Like
So
all he
I'm trying
needs
to
is a
think.
good offensive coordinator, or I mean a defensive coordinator, and they're set.
The last two coaches, and Ken, you might have to look this up because I can't this morning. The last two coaches I can remember getting traded or got traded were Sean Payton, but that one was a different scenario because he left the team for a year to retire, then decided he wanted to coach, and so they had to give him compensation. But Chucky Gruden was in fact traded from Oakland to Tampa. That was a straight up trade. I don't remember what the Raiders got for Chucky.
2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and $8 million cash.
Was that the deal?
That was the deal.
So if you're New York, thank you.
It's like that's burned into your brain, Joe.
No, yeah, because I remember it was
The day the Raiders
substantial.
died.
Yeah. So the question is, would New York be willing to give that up to Miami?
I don't think it would cost that. But I'll put it this way: like if you were say they want 2 first-round picks, right? You got Abdul Carter on the roster. Like he's supposed to be your guy that's going to take over, right? Like give him the top 10 pick this year and Thibodeau and call it a day. They need players. Like, yeah, it kind of hurts.
But if you're New York, you need offensive line. Wouldn't you want to use that pick on an offensive lineman?
Look, to get the head coach in the building that's going to be there for a while, 1 first-round pick is not going to kill you, dude. Like, in my opinion, like I would make that if I was the Giants. I would make that trade, even if they wanted Thibodeau with it, because you have Abdul Carter. Like he hasn't shown to be this player yet, but you went all in on him. Like,
hey, Steve, I said, God forbid they lose. Not that they are going to lose. I said, God forbid. Because it's possible.
For me, I think it would be worth it because of
game.
what Mike McDaniel. I think it would be worth it for what Mike McDaniel could potentially do with that offense.
Yeah, I don't think Mike McDaniel wants to leave Miami to go to New York, though, to be honest with you.
No, he can still get cocaine in New York.
Yeah, probably just as good.
Yeah.
A little more expensive, though.
Yep.
Shipping fees.
And you can't go hang out at the Clevelander in South Beach anymore. I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. We haven't had a coach trade like that since Chucky. The Sean Payton trade's a different scenario altogether. But Chucky was the last active head coach who was under contract and actively coaching to get traded. Look at Tampa would tell you it was well worth it because they ended up going to the Super Bowl with Chucky, and he beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl. So I mean, there is something to be said about that. If you're New York, that's actually very interesting. I just don't know. I don't think they'd pull that off. Some either New York would be too cheap, or Miami be like, nah, man.
Well,
Because
but
then
see,
who's going
here's
to
the
coach
thing too.
Tua?
Well, here's the thing too, is that when Gruden was coming off the divisional round loss to the Patriots, which was the snow job,
The
right?
Tuck rule, yeah.
The Tuck rule. He was coming off the Tuck rule game, but he had the Raiders winning that division. Like they were, there's Mike McDaniel right now, his stock is not that high. So that's why I said I don't think it'll cost as much, because look at Miami right now. Like they're
Yeah,
winning
but
a
if you're
couple games here
Miami,
and
why
there,
do you
but
want? But if you're Miami, okay, great. Maybe you get some first round picks. I don't know if you include Thibodeau in that, but he can't wear his Lululemon Caprice in New York. That's good, Fred. But I mean, if you're Miami, then you're like, okay, but what are we gonna do? Who is going to coach Tua? Because he seems to have a rapport with Tua that actually works.
well,
Either
I don't
that or
know.
you could just put Tua in the nursing home already.
Like
Get it
if you're
over and
thinking
done with.
about, if you're Miami and you're already on the fence about, hey, are we really going to keep this guy or not? And
I
then
don't
New
think
York
they're on
comes
the
along.
fence.
No,
They're not on
I'm
the
not
fence
saying they
though,
are. I'm
Joe.
just saying if they are, like,
Mhm.
because we don't know what they're thinking. Like
Yeah.
we can speculate, but we don't know. Like they just fired their GM. Like, a new GM coming in is probably going to want to hire his own head coach, possibly even get his own quarterback, although the quarterback situation is a little harder because he has that big ass contract. But all I'm saying is if the Giants were to make the offer, make a reasonable offer, you'd have to at least consider it, especially if you're getting
Yeah.
a player like Thibodeau with it and a top, like
So,
that
but
you could
Joe, and
that could really
that's an
jumpstart your
interesting point you
rebuild.
made about the Lions. Like, it might be best for them to just go in a different direction with their offense, because obviously Morton can't call the plays. Dan Campbell, I hope to God he's calling the plays the rest of the season. And it's like, what if McDaniels gets fired from the Dolphins? What if he goes to become a OC for the Lions, like something like that? Like, that the Lions might have to highly consider like changing their offense, because they can't replicate it without having Ben Johnson anymore.
And I think it's
Yeah, the whole
foolish. I
thing with
think
Morton.
you're seeing that they're trying to replicate it and they're not having the same success because Ben Johnson is not calling their plays. So why are you going to? It's like the Raiders when John Gruden left and they went and they ran Gruden's offense that next year. Yeah, they got to the Super Bowl, but as soon as they played Gruden, they got their asses kicked. Like, teams. It's not quite the same situation, but it kind of is in a sense because the Lions are running the same offense, but they don't have the guy that designed it.
Isaac, man, look at it. Do I need to call and get you on the random drug testing schedule for that comment? If you put that comment back up, Ken.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. Look, that would, what that would say if first off, if the Packers were to hire McDaniels as an OC, that means LaFleur is getting fired, because LaFleur is your offensive guru head coach. That just says, well, you're not a good head. Oh, you're not. Your offense sucks. I think they would be getting rid of LaFleur at that point and just hiring McDaniels to be the new coach. So
Honestly, that wouldn't be I mean, I'm not
but
rooting
like,
for LaFleur to get
I mean,
fired, but
in the old school way of football, where you had a head coach and a really good OC and a really good DC, and the head coach was just a guy like Dan Campbell. Like Dan Campbell's a throwback head coach, right? He's not a good play caller. He doesn't design a great offense, but man, does he motivate and get a team going, and he does the right head coach things. But we see as I understand Isaac, but I'm saying, like, I don't think the Packers make LaFleur Dan Campbell. I don't think he could be Dan Campbell. Like, Dan Campbell's not a bad head coach. He's not great at calling plays. He's not great at designing stuff. He's a really good head coach, if that makes sense in the old school sense. I don't think LaFleur is that guy. And so, like, if they did that, I think in Green Bay, that'd mean LaFleur is gone.
Yeah. I was
we
going to
might as
say,
well just
Isaac, make
fire
sure you
him.
point that out to Dorn today.
Shit. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what, though? I don't think that's a bad look. At Dable was a pretty good OC. There's a lot of talk that he'll end up back in Buffalo, which is, well, you know what's funny about Buffalo? Guys that leave Buffalo go back to Buffalo. Think about it. Mitch Trubisky leaves Buffalo, goes to Steelers, gets shafted there. Next, goes to free agency. Doesn't even talk to another football team. Just runs right back to Buffalo. Coaches leave Buffalo, go other places, come right back to Buffalo. Like that organization just treats its people right where they want to come back. And I think Dable going back to Buffalo next year as the OC, that offense would be ridiculous because they love Dable up there. Let's see, LaFleur might. Yeah, I mean LaFleur, I think is on the hot seat. Like, and look, that's why I think Isaac, like your argument should be more like, well, what if we tried to get McDaniels and replace LaFleur? I think that's more
Give
likely
me
to happen.
Hafley as the head coach and McDaniel is the OC.
I mean, look at.
Not gonna work.
No, I mean, look, it could if he's still calling the defense and you like Hafley's defense, but now you got a rookie head coach again, who was a college head coach, didn't exactly tear the world apart, but I mean, it'd be an interesting way for the Packers to do it.
Hafley is a relatively new coordinator, though. He's
Very new.
He's only
This is only his
second year. Like,
Yeah, yes, but he's already starting to get a lot of looks at head coaching positions already. He already interviewed last year for it, and there's connections tying him to the Giants organization.
But
right now.
honestly, though, you look at his defense this year without Micah Parsons, they're not that good of a defense. And that's the rub, because I don't think their defense is anywhere close to what it is without Micah Parsons. And I think they probably lose 2 or 3 more games this year already without Micah Parsons. Joe Brady will take a head coaching gig somewhere else, Billy. That's what will happen. Joe Brady will get a head coaching gig somewhere else. Dable goes back.
I don't know, because let me tell you right now in Buffalo, fans are going nuts with Joe Brady, and they're talking about they might want to get rid of him because of how the offense has been performing this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Joe Brady exits one way or the other, either because he either gets a head coaching gig or the Bills say, hey, we can bring back the guy who made Superman, and that'd be the excuse. Either way, the road's wide open for Dable. In fact, I'm surprised that he has not been signed as a consultant yet. That position that these guys always seem to get with them. I'm sure that'll happen in the next week or two, though. I don't want to guarantee it, but I'm sure the second he was fired, he got a call from Buffalo. He said, "Hey, man, let me get like a week or two with my fam," and they're like, "All right, cool." And then he's gonna be right back at it. I guarantee. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's a lot of rumors flying around about Brady and Dable both going to coach college because there's so many big time programs that need coaches right now. I mean, I've never seen this in one offseason where you have like Penn State, LSU, Florida, Auburn,
a lot more money. Dable will get a lot more money to go to Buffalo and be the OC and have a legit shot at a ring. I think Dable will take that over Penn State any day.
You think you'd get more money? I'm not
he
sure
won't
you'd
get more money. Not at Penn State.
Yeah,
the Penn State
not at LSU, man. Not at Florida.
Penn State just fired their coach, and they still owe him.
Their contracts are different, right? There's so many contingencies built into their, like it's 25 mil if A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the whole alphabet's complete. But if you only do A, B, you're getting 6.
So Penn State just fired their coach, and they still owe him $67 million. So,
which is
obviously
I'm glad you
there's
brought that up too.
But like they still owe him $67 million. So Dable could easily work that into his contract. Like, I want some guarantees if I'm leaving the pro game to come coach your program.
And that's why I was hoping Woody would call him today.
Ken, what was that last comment? Throw it back up. Why we lose either coach winning Super Bowl? I still think it's possible to go Pack. Well, first off, you're not winning the Super Bowl, Josh. At least not right now.
Yeah, we're not right now. No.
I appreciate the hopium you got. For the NFC North, it's hard, I think, to say that for any of our teams right now because the Rams are just the better team in the NFC right now. But I mean, look, if you guys lose to the Vikings, Josh, there's going to be talk about LaFleur being gone. And like, I get the Vikings have this magic with the NFC North, but look at the Bears kind of just ended that, right? I don't know if you guys lose to the Vikings this week, or just have another rough patch where you lose 2 or 3 games in a row. I think there's gonna be a lot of talk about LaFleur being gone. Um,
Very well could be.
and look, I get the money piece on the college stuff, but Dable might look, if you can get a ring, guys rather have the ring than the money, and these guys already have money. Dable's got money. He's got
Dude,
generational wealth in the bank account. He wants a
all,
ring more than he wants a paycheck, I think.
all I'm saying is like a Penn State, LSU, Florida, Auburn, they're going to be paying their next head coach almost probably around 15 million a year. That's a lot of money.
I mean, some of these guys might go that way, but I think Dable ends up back in Buffalo because of the ring. Like I can see Joe
And Joe,
Brady
guess
like
what?
going. Yeah, Joe Brady. I could see him maybe trying to get a college gig if
Yeah.
with Dable going back. But I mean, we already. But then you get guys like like look at why Halfley's in Green Bay. Halfley's in Green Bay because of NIL. He's like, this NIL thing just made college not appeal to me anymore. So I might as well just go the NFL. There's some of that effect now with some of these coaches too. So there's a few like that. Not all of them are like Halfley, but you know,
Let me just get this one comment out. I wanted to respond to Joe about the whole James Franklin buyout with Penn State, and the reason why I was hoping Woody would call in. So guess what? Virginia Tech is hired James Franklin, and guess what? They ate like $40 million of that buyout for Penn State. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
Well, look at that. That's a problem with Dan Campbell.
The happy
That
day in the Franklin household.
look at Nick. For Dan Campbell, it's live by the sword, die by the sword. So on one level, I respect that, but he's not an offensive play caller. He shouldn't have. Morton, look at, and for Lions fans, yeah, Morton, like we told you, he's not Ben. All the arguments, oh, he's the architect, blah blah blah. He doesn't have the football mind that Ben has. He doesn't have the knack for when to call certain plays. And look, even Ben hasn't been Ben in Chicago this year. Let's be honest. Like there's sometimes where even Bears fans are looking at the play calling, going, Ben, what are you doing? But then he snaps back and gets the right play at the right time for us to win the game. But I mean, Ben is kind of having to adjust on the fly this year too, and he's having a little bit of a tougher time because now he's a head coach. It's not
Yep,
easy
that's
being a
true.
head coach and calling plays. And I think Ben honestly is learning that this year. And that's why the Bears offense, as good as it's been, like what, top 3 in the league right now, could be a lot better, right? If he was only worried about the offense, but being the head coach, he isn't. And we're seeing some of that drop off even in Ben Johnson as a head coach. And you're seeing the drop off in Detroit because Ben's not calling plays. And now you're really seeing it when Dan Campbell, who's not a great play caller, but a great head coach, is calling plays. NFC North, I think, has got some interesting first world problems, put it that way, because it's not like these teams suck, any of them. Even the Vikings are having an off year. A lot of it with injury and JJ, got it. But they're still a good team. I don't think their coaches, if anything, they'll lose Flores as soon as his case is done and he can get a head coaching gig.
Yeah,
But
that Vikings defense is tough,
Jim,
man. Like,
it's a top 3 offense. It's ranked. The Bears' offense is ranked in the top 3 in the league. At least it was before this Sunday. I have to see what the new rankings are, but they were a top 3 offense under it with Ben Johnson. What
yeah,
surprised a lot of Bears fans, we were number 2 in the NFL for rushing yards per game.
yeah, and I don't think the Vikings are going to be an easy out for the Packers this weekend, man. This is back against the wall time. This is it for the Vikings, and their defense is good. Their defense is legit, man. So, it is not going to be an easy game for the Packers
this weekend. They may have Grenard back. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's with the Lions, though. I mean, Josh, with the Lions and Packers and their bad. You're right. Every team's had bad games. Look at the Bears against Baltimore. We got, Baltimore came out, punched us in the face with their healthy defense that we thought wasn't going to be healthy. But like the Packers, I kind of get their bad games a little bit more than the Lions, because the Lions' bad games have not necessarily been. Take away the Philly game, their other bad games were games they should have won. The Philly game you knew was going to be a fight. You didn't think they'd look as, and you know what, they were still in it despite their terrible offensive woes. Because that Detroit defense kept them in. A lot of credit goes to that defense for keeping them in, but the offense and the fourth down decisions. That's probably what killed you more than anything was all those fourth down decisions. Just punt the ball. I don't care how bad the wind is. You're going to get, hey, at least you put them 30 yards further downfield than where they were. You know, I mean, the Lions have to figure some shit out. The Packers need to figure some shit out. The Bears need to figure out defense, and the Vikings just need to get healthy. And JJ needs to figure it out at quarterback. I mean, that's the simplistic line for all these teams.
Yeah, I mean, if you go down the list of skilled position players on the Vikings, I mean, Justin Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, Thielen, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Mason, and their defense is freaking outstanding. If McCarthy is on that day, that's a tough team, man.
Well, Billy, if the Bears beat Pittsburgh, we're in first place anyways. I mean, we'll just be happy that there's a game of cushion, right? At least with the Packers, it goes from a half game to a game and a half. That adds cushion as we go into our meeting against you guys, right? Well, actually, in 2 weeks, because the Philly game, like then if we lose the Philly game, okay, now we're only a half game in first, but we're still in first. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes with that, but I mean, look, all these teams have question marks right now in the North, and that's why when you look at the North and you look at, like when someone says, well, we're going to win the Super Bowl as a Packers fan, you look at them and go, dude, none of us are beating the Rams right now. We're just not in a playoff game. It'd be a great game.
To be fair, in the playoffs, we have been the Rams version of the 49ers.
I don't care what you've been in years past. I'm talking about right now, today. I mean,
history never matters unless it supports the Bears.
It doesn't, because last year's team isn't playing the game this year. I mean, I get your historical piece of it, but they're not actually playing the game. I'm talking about with what's on the field right now. You look at right now, then why do we even play the season, Ken, if we only care about history of years past? Right? That's how history's written. Well, no, you can't laugh it off because, we say every year, well, the 49ers are your kryptonite, and they have been in the playoffs. It doesn't mean you can't beat them if you play them in the playoffs. It just means historically, they haven't been great. That doesn't put a feather in your cap. That means you're all of a sudden going to win the game this year if you play them. Just, okay, the history's there, but it literally doesn't mean shit. And we already know that it doesn't mean shit to the players because we've had a player come on this podcast and tell us it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, and I'm pretty confident in saying I think the Rams and Eagles are definitely the head and shoulders above the rest of the NFC. That's what I think.
No, Steve, it doesn't mean nothing because Packer fans look how much we're in first place all the time. So please get out of here with that. It is what it is. The Bears are in first right now in a division where in the last 2 weeks, this is how good our division is or how tough our division is. The Lions are in first place, take a loss, or the Packers are in first place, take a loss, drop the third. Then the Bears and the Lions are tied for first. The Lions take a loss, drop the third. It's musical chairs in the North. It's just a good division. Yeah, there we go.
The Packers for the next 2 weeks, dude. You were talking about the Vikings having their backs against the wall.
The Packers
have their backs against the wall because they got this tough Vikings game. Even though I agree the Vikings defense is good, but they got their quarterback hasn't shown me anything. But they're gonna want to win, and then they're directly after that they're going to play the Lions on Thanksgiving, and the Lions are desperate for a win in that game so they can stay in the the division race. That's two
and who the Lions
tough games
got this
back
week?
to back. They're kind of like
Giants.
games.
Yeah, the Giants.
So really, they should win that game. And for the Bears, Bears fans are going to be going to the Steelers game thinking, we should win this game. It's a game we need to kind of win too, to be honest with you, with the rest, because then we get Philly, then we get Green Bay. Don't care if you are or not, Chaz. But I mean,
2025,
right.
bud, live your truth.
Green, because has their backs against a lot of division games coming up real quick. The division can really get away from them. If you lose, think about it, you get 3 division games in a row, right, Ken? You got the Vikings, then you got On Thanksgiving, you got the Lions, and then you have the mini bye, whereas the Bears have the mini bye for playing on Black Friday, and you got game 1 of 2 in 3 weeks against the Bears. They're got 3 division games in a row. Then they get what, like some other team. Who's that 4th game? They'll get a break, and then they get 4 of their next
it might
5
be the
games are
Ravens.
division. The
Yeah.
God. So they get that.
I don't know where
buzzsaw.
Billy's
So-
getting that comment from either. I never said that. That was the only 2 good players the Lions
So
drafted.
if you're
That
the
never came out of my
Packers-
mouth.
It's the
Dude,
Broncos.
if you're the Packers, this weekend against the Vikings is must-win football. Oops, we lost Broski. This is must-win football for Green Bay this weekend for sure. I agree with that 100% because the Lions is like oof, and then you get Baltimore, and then you get then you get Chicago. So you got 3 division games. If you lose all 3 division games, pack it up, go home. Your season's over. Because then you get Baltimore. I mean, you don't want
It's the Broncos, not Baltimore.
Oh, it's Broncos. Well, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Baltimore's later in the year.
So I mean, the Packers
It's after
dude,
the second Bears game.
If you look what they got coming up the rest of the season, yeah, this is must-win football this weekend for them. And looking for the Vikings, it's must-win football for them because if they lose this weekend, sorry, Rob Haspels, your season is actually over. If you fall 3 games back in the North, it's over. Wait, we'll throw the last one back up. I caught the first half of it then.
It was just trying to say that we barely won.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis gave you the nice pick in the end zone and then the fumble at the end. I mean,
Now, there's something
look-
I do agree with, Chaz.
yeah, they are. Look, they're the luckiest overachieving good team because they overachieved last year, but they got the record this year. So did they really overachieve? It's like kind of hard to make the argument still, but man, they get so lucky.
But I
But
wasn't
good
emphasizing the
football teams
lucky part.
generate luck. But you know what though? Good football teams generate luck.
Yeah,
They really.
but I
do.
wasn't emphasizing the lucky part.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm a
I was
pony.
just being
I'm
more
a pony.
politically correct than you.
So wait a minute. Does that make Broncos fans the first furries?
Oh, dude.
Oh,
mean- Haven't you seen that horsey meme for the Broncos? Oh, dude.
see, like Knicks gets bailed out. They're a good enough football team. They can bail the backed up Bo Knicks out. Yeah. But I tell you what, man, Lions, the Vikings Packers game is probably the most significant game in the North this weekend. More significant than the Bears and Lions games, to be honest with you. Because if the Packers lose, it's
in
a very
trouble.
daunting task. The rest of the
Yeah, they do nothing but make it harder on themselves. And if
yeah, if the Vikings
they,
lose, they're
they
done.
might as well put the plaque up on the basement.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Home sweet home.
So this game, I mean, if the Packers lose, now they're a game and a half at minimum. Well, at minimum is still a half out because if let's say everyone loses, but look at it, if the Lions, Bears, and Packers all lose, this division gets really interesting. All of a sudden, the Vikings are back in it. But if the Bears, Lions, and Vikings win, the Packers are now a game and a half out, back in 3rd place, a half game out of 2nd. And it may and the Vikings would be what? A game behind them? A game and a half behind them or something like that?
And then you
This
got to go to play.
division gets real-
Then you got to go play the
I think
Lions.
it's really interesting. Yeah.
Then you got to go play the
Yeah.
Lions, who are hungry for a
Well,
win.
Yeah, and then you get Chicago right after that, and then you get Bo Nix, and then you get Chicago again, and then you get Baltimore, and then you get what, the Vikings end out.
Yep.
Man, not an easy schedule. And the Bears don't have an easy schedule either. We still got the Niners. We got the Lions. We got 2 against the Pack.
We're gonna find out if Jordan Love is that guy because he's gonna have to put on the cape for the rest of the season, dude.
Absolutely.
And at the end of this, we find out the North will even be competitive in the playoffs versus the Rams and the Eagles. Like the Eagles the Eagles are 2-0 against us right now in the division, right? If the Bears drop to them. I mean,
The
dude,
The Eagles are 3-0 against us.
they
They're
beat the Vikings.
Yep.
I
But
wasn't sure if they
we
played the
are at
Vikings.
that time.
Yep. All right, everyone. Well, have a great day. Enjoy your football Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Another year around the sun is complete.